Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Week 1 matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to be going over a preview, the breakdown, my predictions, my comparisons, everything about this game. But before that topic, got to ask you guys, question for those of you viewing, comment down below, what's your score prediction? Is it going to be a shootout, blowout, 1-point game, 1-score game, whatever it is? Comment down below and we'll see how our predictions match up at the end. Getting straight into it though, obviously you don't really want to look at these numbers and players to the nth degree in the exact comparison. These are last year's stats, and James Conner's not on the Steelers. Devin Singletary is going to be fighting for snaps with Zach Moss. Zach Moss could be the starter. So again, these numbers and matchups won't be spot on, but still it's here for reference and accurate enough to talk about it. Big Ben versus Josh Allen. I think a lot of people looking at the quarterback matchup would give Josh Allen the edge, me including. Josh Allen is you could be a super critical person against Josh Allen, and there's no way he's not in your top 7. There's just no way. Personally, I'd probably have him at 5 or 6 on the come up, but just there's no way he's not in someone's top 7 or a quarterback sees on the come up. And Big Ben, he's looking at the top 20 range right now, maybe, and it's just hard to say Allen doesn't win this matchup for the quarterbacks in this type of game. Big Ben, no disrespect to him, a lot of people think he's regressing, and I think he's at the end of his career. However, you look at Big Ben's numbers last year, for instance, touchdown to interception ratios, he had 33 touchdowns and 10 picks, 3.3 touchdown to interception ratio. That is pretty good. You look at Justin Herbert, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, won Rookie of the Year, set all kinds of records. Everyone looks at Herbert as the upcoming prodigy. Big Ben puts up better numbers. Everyone looks at him as this old man that's aging. And of course, that's one stat. That's one small sample size of statistics to compare, and I can't base that off of everything. But my point is, while I do think Big Ben is on the decline and isn't phenomenal as he used to be, I don't think he's as bad as a bottom 5 quarterback like I see some people making the cases of. I'm not saying you do, but some people I've seen it be done. Run game, you tell me to pick a running back to start my team with, to build my team around. I'm rolling on Najee Harris. He's a rookie, but I just haven't seen enough out of Singletary or Zach Moss or Matt Breida, whoever's getting the ball back there at running back. I'm taking the rookie Najee Harris. I like Singletary the year before last. I think he showed some potential, but still, I just like Najee a little bit more. So I do think the run game advantage goes towards Pittsburgh in this one, but again, it's a small margin because while I think Najee has a higher ceiling, he has less experience and less reps than Singletary and Moss for this team. Looking at the receiving rooms, this is a tough one. We can even take a closer look at the depth chart to just kind of put it in perspective for you guys. In my opinion, Stefon Diggs, no one touches him, no matter who you compare him to. On his own team, Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders, Gabriel Davis, or on the other one, Juju Smith, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. Stefon Diggs is on his own class tier. He's a top 5 receiver in the league, and that is what's going to be carrying the Bills' receiving room. Cole Beasley is a great number 2 option, or Emmanuel Sanders, whoever you see as a number 2, and Gabriel Davis is a great number 3 or 4. Again, whichever it is. Dawson Knox went to tight end U. Let's see if he's a little bit better. Bills got a great unit of weapons, but the Steelers, they got a deep one as well. Juju Smith, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, James Washington is their 4th best option. Eric Ebron, decent room. I think it's a debatable one. I think the Steelers have possibly, you could argue, a deeper room that has a lot of potential as far as Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool not really reaching their max potential yet. So you could say they have a higher ceiling for the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. But as of today, entering this game, entering this week, entering this year, the Bills are just slightly ahead, in my opinion, just due to them having the X factor in Stefon Diggs. Like I said, he's a top 5 receiver in the league. And the Steelers, well, they got some guys that could crack the top 15, possibly Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Juju, if they can hit that next level. And Big Ben still got some arm. I just think the Bills are ever so slightly above them today. But if someone picks the Steelers receiving room over them, I'm not going to argue too much against it. Offensive line, I would say the Bills is slightly more stout. The Steelers lost a decent amount of linemen in a sense. They lost Alejandro Villanueva. They lost the Pouncey brother. They lost Matt Filer. But they still have a young core that's in the making. We'll just have to see how it turns out. So I would give the edge to the Bills, but again, it is close. Taking a look at the defense, the nitty-gritty stuff that's really going to keep the Steelers a competitive team in this game. As we know, TJ Watt, a lot of people think he got absolutely ripped off for Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to have an effect on this game. They're going to be healthy again with Devin Bush. They brought in Melvin Ingram, Cameron Hayward. That's going to be a strong pass rush and a strong unit against a good O-line, though. Minkah Fitzpatrick, top 3, top 5 safety in the league. You could argue he's top 1. Joe Hayden's a pretty good corner. I am curious how they will be losing Steven Nelson, losing Mike Hilton. Again, some of those guys were on the decline or just older, just didn't have it anymore as what they used to be, but still, they were players the Steelers counted on last year, so I'm curious to see how they will be this year. Looking at the Bills, I'm very curious about this man right here, Gregory Ross. So how much he is going to be playing for the Buffalo Bills, how much he will be starting, how many reps he will be getting, how much he will be pass rushing, because I do think he has a very high ceiling of raw skill and just pure potential. Jerry Hughes, Ed Oliver, Mario Addison, some guys are, have either been there or looking to get there as far as sacks go, whether they're towards the end of their career or looking to hit their prime. They just weren't enough to get it by themselves. They just haven't hit that next level yet. Or again, like I said, they were regressing. So they brought in Gregory Ross and right here, Boogie Basham to hopefully help them out. I'm curious to see how these two rookies do. I think depending how much Gregory Ross shows, he could be a deep and a very dark horse defensive rookie of the year type of player. We'll just have to see, though. Again, it's kind of a crowded front four, depth chart, defensive line, whatever you want to call it. I love Tremaine Edmonds at the pure linebacker position. Tre'Davious White, top 6, top 7, top 5 corner in the league, wherever you put him. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, one of the best safety duos in the league. Teron Johnson, I like Teron Johnson. However, I do think he's gotten slightly more hype than he should have just due to that pick 6 he had against Baltimore, kind of like the Malcolm Butler pick against the Seahawks. They all of a sudden are now seen as these great players when it was, yes, a great play, a phenomenal play that really helped out their teams in crunch time, but I feel like it upped their status to a status they're just not at enough consistently. But again, breaking it down, going back to it, looking at this. Quarterback, I'm giving it to the Bills. Offensive line, I'm giving it to the Bills. Receiving room, kind of a toss-up, but if you told me to pick one and I'm building a team, I'm going with the Bills. Run game, I'm going with the Steelers. And defense, I'm going with the Steelers. Bills got a good defense, but it's not TJ Watt type of defense. And head coach, Mike Tomlin all time is definitely better than Sean McDermott, but Sean McDermott is on the come up. This is another toss-up one where the Bills are going to say Dermott's better and the Steelers are just going to say Tomlin's better. This is just a toss-up for me. They're different styles of play, but it's a good coaching matchup. It's going to be a good game. I'm excited to see it. If even you want to break down this game some more, and if you're feeling confident about Josh Allen or Big Ben and the Steelers, there's some pretty good fantasy picks out there. This is thrivefantasy.com. You guys know we kind of work with them now. If you want to use our code 2MW, it'll match up your first deposit up to $100. But even if not, give me some advice, because I was looking at these props, these fantasy picks. Josh Allen against this great defense. We know how good Allen is and how many numbers he could put up. 275.5 passing yards. Are we thinking over or under for this one? I want to hear from your guys' opinions. I'm genuinely asking for my own reasoning. Stefon Diggs, what do we think about him? 86.5 receiving yards over under. Great talent in Diggs and Allen, but it's against the Steelers defense. If this is a 20-14 game, I don't know if we'll have those type of yards to pick the over. Cole Beasley as well. And there's more and more. Big Ben over 273 yards. Juju Smith, Derek Ebron, Chase Claypool, Anthony Johnson. Let me know what you guys think about some of these. And if you do want to have some interest, there are free contests. Again, go to thrivefantasy.com. I'll leave a link in the video and in our bio and in our comments. There's some free ones. But even if not, let me know what you think I should do. But overall, it's not obvious. I think it'll be a great game. I think it'll be a close game. And the Steelers defense will keep them in contention with the Bills. And it could come down to the wire. But I'm rolling with the Bills on this one. I think the Bills are going to be possibly visiting the AFC Championship again. They could possibly be visiting the Super Bowl. And therefore, I'm going to have to roll with Buffalo in a close game. I'm going to say 28-24 for this game is my score prediction. But like I said, I do want to hear from you guys as well to see how we match up and predict against each other. As always, and of course, guys, thank you for watching. 2-minute warning.